Welcome, everybody, to the Chop Sports Daily. As we're breaking news here, we're not breaking news. Everybody knows it by now, but we're starting to show off hot right here with some Deshaun Watson breaking news in the NFL. It took him X amount of time to finally come down with this. It's about time. However, the news is, and what's been tweeted out there already, is that Deshaun Watson has been suspended for the first 6 games of the NFL season. This comes as no surprise, as he was definitely going to serve some time. But now, Gooch, I asked you before we, do the whole show.
Mike sounds like it's coming through the computer.
So what?
Mike sounds like it's coming through the computer is what we're getting.
Oh shit! All right, this is perfect. So go to settings.
Settings
on the bottom.
Here.
There. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Go to audio. Go to. It says right there default. How is it possible?
Yo.
It says desktop, bro. Go to default and go to the mic.
This one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It says it's on. So
this one?
That's the one, right? It's
Yep.
one selected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody good? Let me go listen on YouTube from my phone.
Microphones. Everybody will be right with you guys in just a second. Are you?
I didn't do anything. I'm not in here either. That's probably it. That
What?
second one.
So what now?
It's that probably like we did it last time.
That sounds normal.
No, it's not you. Does mine sound normal?
Okay, I'm good.
I can't see.
Right there. One little left, little down, little right there. There you go.
All right, check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. I don't know if this is working yet. Rob and Chris are great, so now it's my mic. Check. Oh yeah, it's not on. What the fuck? There we go. I don't know what that was all about. Check. We're back now. We should be back now. Should be back now.
And welcome. We're back.
Check. Anybody on YouTube?
I'm trying to be, but it's not really loading.
Nobody could say in the comments.
Check. I don't know.
We back.
We're back.
I don't know what the fuck that was all about. Anyway.
Happy Monday.
So yeah, what a Monday. What a fucking hello. I don't get the mouse. So what a Monday that's starting off, because you know what? That's how Mondays start off, when Deshaun Watson doesn't get the appropriate amount of games suspended. So anyway, breaking news from the NFL. It's not breaking anymore because obviously people have tweeted about it already. It's all over the internet. Deshaun Watson has been suspended for the first 6 games of the 2022 NFL season. This comes as no surprise, as people already knew that he was going to be suspended. It was just a matter of how many games. Now, this one's coming down. We'll get into your rundown in a little bit. We'll get into the 2022 Denver Broncos in a little bit. But this right here is a complete abomination of the NFL shield, everything they stand for, everything that they represent, because this is the same amount of games as guys like Ezekiel Elliott back in 2017, when Zeke was accused of one wrongdoing and then cleared of it. They got 6 games anyway. This was 24 women that came forward, 25, 26. We lost count at this point, but Deshaun Watson only serves 6 games and can actually, he's not going to appeal, but the NFL can appeal, meaning if the NFL appeals and Roger Goodell appeals, or any kind of appeal happens, Deshaun Watson could suit up week 1.
So for clarification on that, I think Roger Goodell isn't going to be the one that heads up the appeal. It's supposedly it's the owners. The owners want to kind of take back what was going on. You had mentioned the article, and this is what we've been talking about 2 wrongs don't make a right. I need to see more details. It came out that it was going to be 2 seasons. It came out it was going to be 1 season. Then it came out that he might not get suspended at all. There was a lot of back and forth about what it was going to be. And then for the past month or so, I think it was kind of established that it was going to be 6 games. So I'm not surprised by it. If anything, if they only found something wrong, then they gave him 6 games because of the public outcry. You also have to think he did miss a full season last year. I know that
I'm not going to touch
on that, but you know,
he didn't miss anything.
All told, 23 games he didn't get to play in. To me, I don't know the details of the situation, but if there was egregious shit going on with the NFL investigation, and the NFL only investigated 5 cases out of the 25, so maybe that's because the other 20 just didn't have any any
Well,
legs?
yeah, 4 to 5 cases were. That was the more alarming part when I read that this morning. That only 5 cases were brought. 4 of them were actually represented. Were brought to the NFL and to this judge. So the other ones were quote settled, were quote kind of gone away, and that's either hush money or Watson and his company taking care of all these women that were affected by this. Which again, this is complete bullshit because look around the league, look at what everybody else is dealing with currently. We're talking complete Calvin Ridley. Like, bro, makes one bad parlay bet, loses the bet, by the way, loses that. And then he's suspended for the entire 2022 campaign. Now, I get it because Pete Rose, obviously in baseball, once you bet on the sport that you play in, it is bad news bears, okay? It is bad news. So I get it. Suspended for a year, fine. But now you're looking at a guy like Deshaun Watson, who's literally been accused of assaulting women for how many? 2 years ago now, I guess this all came about. So assaulting all these women. And all of a sudden, this is the penalty. This painted the NFL in such a bad light because now what are you going to do? Now, what do we have to see now in the NFL? And I'm not saying this arbitrarily, or I'm not trying to make an example, but like, what if now the next guy, whoever, player named here, beats the shit out of his girlfriend?
I think that's different.
But no, but or accused of. So what's the next accusation?
Because
it's going to happen.
Okay, but in terms of that's egregious. That's a way more. There's evidence. There's clear evidence. If there's a police report filed in real time and there's physical evidence, like pictures of a beaten up female, then it's clear cut. It's a cut and dry case, open shut. With this, it's accusations. There's no actual real evidence to even prosecute criminally. So the problem that I have with it is 6 games proves that there was something wrong, right? The NFL found something wrong. So if they found something wrong, then how is it just not so wrong that they suspend him for a full season? Or if they didn't find a lot wrong, to me, it should be 0 games. Because if I would have preferred either that. You did it or you didn't do it. If you did something, then you need to be suspended for a longer time than just 6 games. If you didn't, and we're only suspending you for, to save face publicly, then now it's Deshaun Watson that has a case against the NFL. Because to me, 26 cases, 6 games, they only heard 5 of the cases. I need to hear more details because if it was, look, we actually looked at all 25 cases, but 21 of them were just garbage. And it was obvious. So they threw those away. And there's like 5 or 6 that are real. But there's also other news that came out with Deshaun Watson today is that in addition to being suspended for the 6 games, he also agreed to settle with 3 more of the women.
Unbelievable.
Leaves one woman left.
So there's only one woman left.
One woman.
And the one woman left, I would imagine, is either a brand new accuser, which is there. You might see more and more of those come out as time goes on, or it's the initial one, or the main one that's like, no, this happened to me, and I'm not a hooker. I wasn't a massage therapist that was agreeing to do this for Deshaun Watson. I didn't have a pimp. What about the pimp?
And here's
I'm not
your
talking
answer.
about the Texans owner. I'm talking about the lady.
And here's your answer to a couple people saying, like Tim Riley came in and said, did the NFL take into account that he didn't play last year? That's not true, and that's not fair because the man was paid his entire contract to sit on the bench. That was a decision made by the Houston Texans to save face.
Is there also a fine attached to the suspension, or is it just the games that he missed now? So his suspension.
And now that he's going to lose a couple $100,000, a couple $100,000 because of the way they structured that first year.
They may have factored that in, though. They may have.
They probably did, right?
I can't miss the whole season. But how? How do you factor that in if the guy got paid to sit on the bench and be a piece of shit? How do you actually factor that in? That doesn't make any sense to me because like me or you. That's like you, or me. Did something wrong, right? And I'm just like, Chris, look, man, you can't be here. You can't. It's a bad look if you're on the show, but I'm going to pay you. Right. And then you come back and then I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm suspending you for 6.
It's not the same because there's lawyers involved and there's legal issues that are just like that are binding in terms of the way the Constitution was written and the way labor laws are written.
But I'm not talking about now. I'm not talking about even about the 6. I would have much rather, and truth be told, I would have much rather Deshaun Watson be suspended for 0 games. That means the NFL did their investigation and said, you know what? We can't. You didn't do anything.
We found nothing. So
we found nothing. That's it. The fact that they found anything, it could be a bad text message. It could be something really the tiniest mediocre thing. And if you found it and you found that he's guilty, then you have to suspend him for longer than 6 games. Last year doesn't count.
All right,
I'm
so
sorry.
I have the real question that everybody wants to know. Does this mean that Amari Cooper is draftable again?
Oh, Jesus.
That's a good
After week
question,
6.
Like, as we move past our opinion point, and like, what does this mean for the Browns going forward? It would have been nice to have this news about a week ago when we did Cleveland.
Yeah, we can
But
redo Cleveland
look,
if you want.
We agree that it's kind of a shitty situation. He should have probably gotten suspended more. The fact that they found anything, or if they found nothing, he should have been suspended 0 games. I need to see more details. I would imagine now that the suspension came down, that the NFL or this committee that oversaw this, whatever it was, will have to release some of the details of what they found in the
They need to release
investigation.
it all.
This way,
It's
that
gotta
we
be
could-
public
the
knowledge.
public could understand why they did what they did, but it does not have to be,
Why not?
because they don't. There's public record, and there's certain things that get, when there's like high profile cases, like how come Ghislaine Maxwell's accusers or the people that she was naming in her case, that didn't come out.
Well, how come
They could dictate the same thing with Daniel Snyder.
Well, how come they
Like, they can release it or not.
Well, how come
They
they
don't need
released?
to.
Why did they release John Gruden's emails?
That's why he's suing them.
That's why he's suing them.
And he's going to win because now look, now he's
Case in
got even a
point.
bigger
I
case.
mean, he might not win because the NFL has got long money, and
Yeah.
it's tough to go to court with the NFL because they could just drag it along. You're going to really have to have some resiliency to go up against the NFL in a court battle.
So is this the NFL just saving face, giving him the 6
But
games?
how much? And that's fine that you mentioned that
We're not
phrase,
going to know
saving
until we
face.
see the details.
But are they really saving face here? Like this right now makes it look even worse, guys.
Oh yeah, they're playing the
Worse.
middle. They're playing the middle. They're trying to pander to both sides, and that's.
But that
Look,
shouldn't be in
but-
affect your decision.
But save face. Does anybody in this room? Maybe there is people out there that will not watch the NFL because of this. But like week 1, Thursday night, when the first
No,
game
it has
kicks
nothing to
off,
do
the
with that.
NFL's got plenty
Preseason
of
Thursday,
face.
dog.
They can
Yeah,
lose
no,
a little bit.
I'm talking. I'll be watching
can
the Hall
lose a
of
little
Fame
bit
game
of
on
face.
Thursday, right?
And they're going
I've
to be
never been
fine.
so excited for
Yeah,
a Hall of
I'm
Fame
pumped
game
for
in
the
my
Hall of
life. I'm
Fame
dead
game, which
serious.
means
I've never
nothing.
been.
Half the NFL's face off, they would have a full face again by week 1.
Listen, the NFL finds a way to get
Oof.
out of these situations all the time with the Michael Vick dog situation. Then you have the Gruden situation. Then you have the Deflategate situation. People will get upset.
Bro,
We will talk about it.
Here's
and
the
then
thing.
Hold my
Ready
beer,
for this?
Hold my
Hold-
beer.
ready
while,
for that?
Hold my
No.
beer while Deshaun Watson makes speeches at women's rights groups and shit like that. In like 5
Right,
years, when
No,
they
no, no.
make him do some
No, you
dumb
just
shit
brought
that
up
he
a
doesn't
point.
even believe in.
They suspended the GOAT, Tom Brady, 4 games for deflating a
for
football.
cheating.
For deflating a football.
Cheating is cheating.
Okay, fine. They suspended Watson
Also,
for 6.
could we test
more
Tom
games
Brady for
assaulting
HGH at this
women.
point? Why is Tom Brady in the best shape of his life right now?
Of course, because he's got
Explain that to
18
me.
trainers that like sleep with
No,
him in his
it's called
bed.
TB12,
fucking
baby.
juice, bro.
Unbelievable.
TB12,
But anyway,
dog. It's on steroids.
it's an
Tom Brady's
egregious
been on steroids his whole career, probably.
steroids. Ready? 6 games for Hopkins because
Yeah.
he took a bad pill.
And did you see what he
Get
said?
outta here.
That is like in the blood levels. It's only like
I hope-
failed by like 0.03%.
I hope to God
Hey,
that somebody
PEDs,
comes out.
butt stuff.
I hope no. I really hope somebody comes out, whether it be, and I know they won't, like a Hopkins or a Zeke or somebody like that. Just like Zeke should just put out a tweet shaking my head.
No,
Zeke
no.
should do that.
No.
I think
Yes,
I think,
because this is bullshit,
look,
dude.
bro. Look, here's I don't think that Zeke is feeling that any type of way towards Watson in this case. I
No,
think
feel
that
it towards the NFL.
Are all Cowboys fans
or
salty this
the
morning?
NFL, based on the fact that Zeke was almost a martyr, and like because of the egregious suspensions that they doled out to some of these players that didn't deserve it. I'm not saying Zeke did or didn't. I don't know enough about that case, but he got 6 games, and I think it's been a public outcry for a while
Yes.
that it was probably a little over of a punishment,
They
right?
missed the playoffs.
But what you have to do in that situation is you can't just say, okay, we set the precedent, we were wrong. Let's keep on being wrong going forward. Like they looked at the Zeke case and they were like, look, that was bad. We fucked up there. We can't keep doing that because that's bad. So they go back on it a little bit and you need to get some of the control back. And that was why the NFL might be appealing it. You understand that, right? Like
Yeah,
the NFL is kind of on Deshaun Watson's side in this case. And the players union is definitely on his side. The players, if you're a player and there's guys getting suspended for something that maybe they know more details and they'll be like, yo, he shouldn't get suspended at all. We all get our asshole played with at the massage parlor.
My God.
Right?
Okay.
That could be a prevalent thing. You think
Bum,
Deshaun
bum.
Watson's
Breaking
the
news,
only
ladies and
guy?
gentlemen.
You're talking to the guy who's king of massage parlor, dog. You know what
Who?
I'm saying? Me, bro.
Oh, you.
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who doesn't
Anyway.
like to
All right,
fool
well,
around after we've
in
been
any
on
event,
In
Manscaped?
Texas, it might be a felony.
I do. This is off the rails now, but all I'm saying is this: the NFL is trying to quote save face, and what this did was this painted them in a worse light to me.
Yes.
This is them trying to be like, oh, and that's another thing, Chris. Like, if this is the reasoning why, like, all right, so he did this, It's not that bad. But if we don't do anything, people are 6. You know, like it's like this. There's no bearing on this. We need the details. I don't want to read the details because I'm sure it's absolutely disgusting or whatever the hell he's into. I don't care. You do what you want to do with your life.
Or it's not.
Or it's not.
Or
So
if it's not,
then don't suspend
like
them at all.
there could be some thought trap horror,
horrible
situation women that are just trying to take advantage of a payday. I apologize.
Could be,
for
but
the,
you don't.
for the
but
direction
like you said,
of where that went.
You don't know which way it could
Cancel.
go. Because listen, after 6 games, this guy's going to be on TV. I'm pretty sure they have primetime games.
The woman, one of the women accusers, her son
was the pimp, right?
Son,
yeah.
no. Her son was like,
Christ.
her son was like, no. Like when she came home that day, she had nothing but great things to say about Mr. Watson, and saying that the mother was just a little, looking for a money grab. Essentially, like that was a real thing. That's something.
Here's the thing. In that same breath, right, where he has the mom saying this, or at least he said that. There was a legitimate text thread on, and I keep going back to this. Yes, Cowboys fans are salty. I'm sorry. It's the way it's going to be. There was a text thread between Ezekiel Elliott's accuser and her friend saying, let's get him. Let's get him, right? And they still suspended Zeke for 6 games.
That could just be like, fuck this guy. He did this. Let's get him.
Or whatever the case.
He still in college when this, he was going into the NFL, right? When this happened, doesn't happen at Ohio State in the parking lot, right?
I don't know, dude. It was at the Mardi Gras thing, or there was like a grab.
I think it was after year one. I think it was after year one.
Then he did something.
Well,
else
it all came
to. Car.
It was 2017. He got suspended. It came through fruition after year one, and he didn't, again. But it doesn't matter. All I know is this: Deshaun Watson is going to be back in week 7, or I think if the bye week plays out right, he'll be starting after the bye or some shit like that, and he'll be quarterback for the Browns, right? And that's it. You'll never have to hear about this shit again because it's over now, right? But now, with my only concern before we get into the rest of the show, and there's a lot to get to, my only concern is this. What does the NFL do to the next person that does something stupid like this? Because it's inevitable. I'm not going to stereotype anybody, but these NFL athletes or any professional athlete for that matter, when they have all the money in the world, these guys get bored. And when they get bored, they do stupid shit. That's just the way it is. They're young. They're reckless with their money. And this is what's going to happen. So what is going to happen to the next guy, regardless of what it is? Is this the thing they use going forward?
The
new precedent.
Maybe. I guess really, though.
But we're going to have to know details.
I guess when we get into the next situation that arises from an NFL player, a star player at that, we're going to get – you have to look at that case individually. You can't be like Deshaun was 6 games. Well, with the details and the facts,
I need to know
on
what
Deshaun Watson. Are they going to make this other guy sit out a full year before knowing anything?
Now I haven't looked, and maybe somebody in the comments can chime in. What is the actual description of the penalty? Like Deshaun Watson has been suspended 6 games by the NFL for
detrimental to the league.
Okay, so then that means that is the precedent. Conduct judgment. That means it's going to be even. And now there's got to be something else.
But that phrase was literally made up to be all encompassing.
That's horrible. I mean?
So
they need to get more
specific.
They don't
have to be specific.
This
is because they're very, very smart at the top and they know how to cover their tracks legally, which is why you don't get involved with the NFL in a court case because you'll probably lose.
They own you, and that's the bottom line.
Or if they know they're going to lose, it's not going to see the light of day because they're going to settle.
Yeah. Well, in any event, if you missed all that, you can rewind later on, or this clip will be put out there on the old YouTube channel. So be sure to check it. Like this video. Welcome, everybody, to the Chop Sports Daily. It is Sturch. It is Gooch. It is Wrestling Rob behind the glass. It's been, again, that's the kind of shit that we ran into this morning. Rob, first on the scene. He's our correspondent reporter. That's the first I knew of it. I went right to Twitter. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So Rob with the breaking news to us, and then we were able to relay it. But Jesus Christ. I mean, it's just a bad situation. But it's not a bad situation. The Gooch rundown is not a bad situation because there's so much to talk about. Because guess what? Deshaun Watson is not the focal point of the entire season, even though it's the first thing on the rundown says Watson gets 6, but you could skip right over that.
Yeah. So we obviously talked about the Deshaun Watson thing. He got 6 games. He also settled with 3 women. Deebo Samuel signs a 3-year, $73.5 million contract extension, and that is good for $58 million guaranteed. I think it's a slight underpay based on the DK contract that was signed Friday, but we'll get into that a little bit. I'm sure we're going to circle back to that.
Yeah.
NBA news. Bill Russell passed away at the age of 88. Bill Russell won 11 titles and 5 MVPs. He's the winningest player in NBA history. And if you were talking about accomplishments, team accomplishments, and accolades, then Bill Russell would be the GOAT. But obviously, there's a guy that named Michael Jordan. But rest in peace to Bill Russell. I'm not a Celtics fan. I actually hate the Celtics in the city of Boston. But Bill Russell is one of those guys that is one of the first sports names anybody ever hears when you're talking sports.
One of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah. So nothing but respect to Bill Russell. Moving over into the UFC. There was a main event, 2 title fights this past weekend. Brandon Moreno defeats Kai Kara-France in what was, to me, a really exciting fight. Brandon Moreno is just a dog. He ended up choking him out. Actually, he didn't choke him out. He liver kicked him straight to sleep. It was one of the most brutal liver kicks I've ever seen. The guy crumbled like a pile of bricks, finished him off. And Kai Kara-France, though, he did look really good. It was a shame that he got caught because I think Moreno was down 2-0 in the third round. But those were his rounds anyway. Championship rounds, Moreno's the man. So
you talk about the toughest person in the history of people in the next.
Yes. So Amanda Nunes completely wipes the arena, and I guess, was it in Texas? The entire state of Texas.
I thought it was in Vegas.
With Juliana Pena's head. So Juliana Pena got her ass beat, but wow, was she a tough
dude.
Bro, she took a beating from pillar to post for about 25 minutes, but she stood in there. And look, she actually almost had Nunes out like 4 different times with slick submission attempts, but just too bloody, too slippery, and Nunes regains her crown. Nunes was saying that she was injured going into the last fight, and after watching this one, I 100% believe her because she kicked the shit out of Juliana Pena.
I've never seen such a one-sided fight.
Loaded stuff happening in baseball. Before I get into the trade deadline news, I just wanted to mention that Aaron Judge has 42 home runs. That's it. Aaron Judge has 42 home runs.
Pay the man. He has more home runs than Gallo has.
Nice little bounce back, winning 3 of 4 after a rough patch going into the weekend. And we're not going to mention why. Jacob deGrom set to make his first start of the season on Tuesday.
Hold your breath, Mets fans.
When you sent 6 games this morning, Rob, I said I thought that was the prediction and how long it's going to last before deGrom is back on the IL. But it was the Deshaun Watson thing. So deGrom,
oh man,
it's good to have him back because it does make baseball better, more interesting. Hopefully, he falls flat on his face and his ERA skyrockets to like 6.8.
Oh my, okay. So
and
you're not on the
The
deGrom
Mets
trade.
don't make an offer and he goes to the Braves next year. So
wow, okay.
You basically got a rental in deGrom, guys, because he's an Atlanta Brave next year. So enjoy that.
He's actually like a trade deadline, acquisition, really. You're a brand new player.
Speaking of trade deadline and acquisitions, there's some news coming out. Major news over the weekend is Luis Castillo. Everybody lost out on Luis Castillo. The Mariners managed to pull him from the Reds. I thought that the deal wasn't that great. I feel like the Yankees could have easily have topped that deal, but I think that they think a little more highly of Dominguez and Volpe, and they're going to be
the hair
real hesitant. No, he said he would cut it.
Really?
Yeah, he said he's down for the get down.
Damn.
So right now the Yankees are in on Frankie Montas, and
Bring
if that
it. Bring him
falls
home.
apart,
Let's go.
then we go to the Noah Syndergaard, which is a nightmare waiting to happen, if you ask me. Will he cut his hair? That's the question. Josh Hader is now on the market in a surprise announcement by the Brewers. Maybe they're just fielding offers, but they're in the thick of the pennant race in the NL, and he's their best reliever.
I'm pretty
one
sure
of the
they
better
have
relievers in baseball.
They have another reliever that's like not just as good.
Yeah,
Williams, is it?
It's nice to have 2.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, maybe they can
one's
get a piece.
Lefty, one's a righty. It makes sense to keep them. But if they could get some value, that's how the Brewers have to run their organization because they're not going to be able to pay big money like some of these other clubs are. Wilson Contreras. Hopefully for Mets fans, the newest Met, but right now he's still middling away in Chicago. He did scrub his social media. He said his goodbyes to the fans and his teammates. It basically was like a week-long goodbye. This guy's dragging things out, but
it's not him. He just hasn't been traded yet.
Yeah, but he hasn't been traded yet, so don't act like you've been traded yet because now there's a chance that you don't get traded because if they don't
Who's the guy that cried for the Mets a couple years back and didn't get traded because he thought is it Wilmer Flores?
Wilmer Flores.
Now he's crying at second base like, I can't believe it.
Actually, Wilmer Flores is one of my favorite non-Yankee players in baseball. I like the way he carries himself on the field, which I'll talk about that another time maybe. Anything else on the – oh, yeah. Well, we could get into the Castillo thing. We did. And Juan Soto, the sweepstakes for Juan Soto was down to 3 teams. Mets and Yankees, neither of them are you. So we all knew that anyway. It's 3 National League teams, the Dodgers, which I think is fake. And then it's the Cardinals and the Padres. I think the Dodgers are involved.
I would love to see him on the Cardinals now.
Simply to drive up the price on San Diego, but I just don't see it with the Dodgers. They're like the Mets and the Yankees where they have to pander to their fan base and make it seem like they're in on everybody, even though they might not be. So that's it from my rundown.
I got a couple more things.
Back to you, Dave.
I got a couple more things to add. I know there's a comment in there about Ric Flair's last professional wrestling match plus SummerSlam coverage. You can find that all in the Fight Factory later on when Rob and Tommy and myself go over all that. Also, I want to give a special shout out to everybody who's downloaded a Sit Down with Sturch, my newest little passion project that I'm working on. It's got a lot of positive reviews, nice little download count. So I appreciate you guys watching and listening and all that good stuff.
One more thing, though.
August 1st, Bearcat football starts tonight.
Yeah, that's well, two things. Pop Warner Day. Happy Pop Warner Day to all the dads and the coaches out there.
Go.
I'm not even sure if Pop Warner still exists because there's so many 12 and U and no weight limits anymore. So PAL leagues. Whatever it might be, youth football, my day in my whole childhood, my favorite day of the year was August 1st.
Yeah, man.
And then subsequently August 14th when you got to put the pads on and lay some wood a little bit. So happy football day to everybody that's going out there for the first practice today. And happy National Girlfriend Day to Ashley.
Oh, my God.
Gotta mention it, right? Happy National Girlfriend Day to the newest junior account executive at where do you work? I know where you work. Imagine PR. So congratulations to Ashley. She is now officially a junior account executive.
Congratulations at your job that, what's the name of it?
Bro.
Smoke 4 weeks, Turtle.
The important part, I didn't smoke. I haven't.
No, it was just, I know.
Yesterday.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it. That's my favorite line.
But the important part was that it's Happy National Girlfriend Day and congrats on your promotion and raise.
Well, I thought I was sick before. Now I'm even sicker. But anyway, what was that?
Just from ESPN, Knicks are now being investigated for the Brunson tampering.
Yeah, but that's news. That's not news.
Just
yeah, but like actually. I think like when Brunson was even being talked to, we were sitting here saying like, oh yeah, we knew his father.
It was
there's no
unless
doubt.
This is the official.
They could have announced. The Knicks could have announced that when they signed him. They could have been like, we signed Jalen Brunson. We're also going to get fined for tampering.
Kyle coming in saying happy National Testicleless Day to cleats.
Yes, thank you, buddy. Thank you, buddy.
Anyway, so so that's that. Back to the Deebo thing. Okay, let's touch on some Deebo thing. You can bring up the Deebo graphique as we go into the Deebo Samuel contract. Now, I'm very, very interested. Whatchamacall? Top one. There you go. I'm very interested to see what Now, we all went nuts about the Kyler contract, right? Like, we're like, oh, my God, there's a reading clause in it. Like, can he read? I don't know. We'll find out. No, the clause was in there, and it was only kind of leaked out to the public where people just completely went nuts. My question is this. Deebo Samuel gets the same money, relatively same money as DK Metcalf. Are there clauses that we're going to find out that Deebo's not allowed to touch the ball a certain amount of times from the backfield? Because, bro, this is, and I'm never one to be like, I can't believe you got all this money. This, my friends, is an underpay because Deebo Samuel has set the market as far as not even financially. I'm talking about setting the team's market of that you need a Deebo Samuel in your offense because that web back, that guy, that X factor, that guy that you need to know where he is at all times. How do you not get the most money now? Because you're the most valuable person on the team. Now, I'm not talking MVP. I'm talking most actual valuable person on the team. This is an underpay. The Niners got away with something
I think it's a slight underpay depending on if he's going to get the ball out of the backfield. I hope not because I have Elijah Mitchell in 2 dynasty leagues. But look, Deebo doesn't want it. He said that he was unhappy with the way they used him, and if they're going to use him that way, he needs to be paid. And that was the whole friction between the organization and Deebo, where he wasn't really trying to take that money. But now it looks to me like he's probably not going to be used the same way, unless you get down to a situation at the end of the year.
We're going to find out if he's a good receiver or not.
But I was looking at Deebo's and DK's stats side by side, and if you look at their receiving stats,
are they comparable?
It's very comparable.
Okay.
I think Deebo is a better player because of what he's able to do. But if you're taking that aspect of his game away, then I feel like it's a good deal.
Tim Riley makes a very good point. He's actually saying, I wonder if he's going to lose touches because now they have a quarterback that can run.
Oh, well, for a fact.
There you go.
100%.
Like that could be a solve.
I think that about all the running backs, like Justin Fields, David Montgomery will lose touches. All the guys across the board that have Miles Sanders might not get the ball at all. I think Gainwell's taken first.
Gainwell's taken, but
Miles Sanders is dealing with a little bit of an injury. And I do want to circle back real quick to the Kyler thing. Did you watch the full Kyler interview?
No, and I told you that I kind of refused. But you put in the group chat saying like he's now like your top 10 player in the league or something. No.
I'm just team Kyler when it comes to this situation. It is disrespectful and it is egregious. And the way he was able to poke fun at himself while speaking his mind and saying his points, and he's like, I'm not one to mention my accolades, but he was like, and then he started rattling off what he's done. hard to deny what he's done. You know?
Okay, great.
And he's like, and I did all this. He's like, without studying, and I'm 5'7". He's like,
look, he's
no.
an
He was
athlete.
like, no pun. He's like, I'm not trying to take any shortcuts. No pun intended.
See, that's
So
really
to me,
funny.
I was like, you know what, bro? You could take a punch, and then he didn't look like he was angry, but it was like, bro, it really is disrespectful. Like
But it's like being
25
in
hours a
school.
week minimum. Like you're
All right.
talking around the league, NFL quarterbacks are like, bro, come on. But then I saw a funny stat, a funny graphic, and I know that there's Big Cat. He has some fans and some haters out there. Definitely some fans and haters watching this show. But everybody knows who Big Cat is. But he put out a weird
Barstool?
stat where he went through the games, and when Madden was released, and they showed Kyler's stats after Madden comes out, right? And they go down. Like when Madden gets released, Kyler Murray's numbers go down. I don't know if it was a joke.
But Madden comes
Or
out in
what?
August.
So then I guess it was a joke, but it was fucking hilarious. And what else about Kyler? Yeah, after week 10, he's done no matter what because Cliff Kingsbury's his coach.
So, all right. So my question is this: when in regards to Kyler, in that interview in specific, have you ever been in school, which we both have, Rob has, Ashley has, like, and you fail a test, right? And the teacher like gives you the thing, and it's right in front of you, and you're looking right at your score, right? If the teacher comes back and says, "Did you study?" Like, I'm not gonna be like, the disrespect. Of course I studied. Like, no, you failed. Like, you failed.
Yeah,
So,
but,
like, that, to me, it's like, how am I?
where in this did he take a test? And then
I'm saying they're saying he doesn't study. He hasn't succeeded in the NFL yet. He hasn't been an MVP caliber player
he's
yet.
a two-time Pro Bowler. So to
It's
me,
a popularity contest. That doesn't
fair
count.
enough. But you know what?
He's not an all-pro.
You're telling me last year when in week 9, Kyler wasn't in the top 3 of the front runner for MVP race. Like Kyler has had success in the league.
Yeah, but we all see
Right?
the stats when it drops off the face of the earth every single season.
I agree. I'm not sitting here and trying to defend him as like a Super Bowl winning quarterback at this point yet, but a lot of guys have to figure it out early in their career and get over the hump. By this time in Kyler's career, Josh Allen wasn't good yet. You know what I mean? Josh Allen was good in year 3. Guess what year Kyler's going into?
If you think that Kyler's going to start just jumping off the charts now, I think that the book is out on Kyler.
Look,
He's not it. I'm sorry. He's not it.
I mean, it's hard to say a 25-year-old quarterback is not it yet when he was the first pick overall. I think that Kyler might not be the best player in the world. He might not be the number 1 quarterback in the league, but I would say that right now it's safe to say that he's overpaid, but he's also clearly a franchise quarterback at the age that he's at. And like when you're looking around the league, who are you taking over Kyler realistically? Are you taking Cousins?
No.
Right?
No.
So then
That's
there you
one
go.
guy.
But there you go. So right there, you're putting him because
At
Cousins
31.
is like,
Like, I'm just saying, you could probably name
I named the guy in like middle of the pack on purpose. Cousins is middle of the pack.
I would not consider Kyler Murray a top 10 quarterback.
I wouldn't either.
But you'd consider Kirk Cousins the top 10 quarterback?
No.
Would you consider Kirk Cousins top 15 quarterback?
You're probably upper echelon. I would say half the league. I'd put him at 16. Put him right dead in the middle.
So where would you put Kyler Murray?
Probably 15. You know, like,
So
all right, cool. You're in the
so-
top half and
so
you
if
got
you're-
paid that much? Get out of here.
I mean,
get out of here.
now
I can
where
see-
would
I
you
can
have
see
put
your
Dak?
opinion on that.
Where
I
would
can
you have
see
put
that.
Dak
I
when
told
he
you
got
I got
paid?
Dak at 10.
No, but when he got paid,
He was even better than he was when he got paid.
but he's just coming off an injury,
injury.
and he played 5 games, so there was a lot surrounding that where it was like so it's like the market. I'm not saying bash. I'm not saying Kyler's better than Dak. I'm saying
It's not.
you know the market, how the market goes. But at the end of this season, he might be.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe.
You just
Stats
don't
wise,
know.
maybe.
You just
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know.
So we'll see.
According to sources close to the situation, somebody who also probably, I think, attended Colonia High School, Gooch never failed the test. He dominated it, according to Scoop.
Well,
So, congratulations. You never failed the test.
I would just not. Sometimes I just wouldn't take them.
You just wouldn't
Wouldn't
go.
care. I'd be an ISS.
There's a test?
I'd be
Not
an
going.
ISS with Ken Paulman. He was the teacher, and I was.
Fucking old is he?
I mean, a little older than me, I guess.
But
right?
like when you know when we're younger, teachers are always like, I felt like the teachers are always like really old. Now the teachers are like 22.
No, not when you're like the ISS teacher. He was just kind of like post college grad, like entering. He wasn't the math teacher. He was sitting in ISS. He was like overseeing.
Is he the asshole that he is today?
No.
I
Ken's
love
a
you,
great
Ken.
dude, bro.
Oh
He just-
yeah, I'm
we
sure he's just a
he just
swell
got-
fella.
He's got some strong opinions.
Oh, he
And
absolutely
don't we-
does.
Dave, you have some very strong opinions.
I absolutely do.
So, I feel like that's a clash of the. Would you be okay if I called you an asshole?
Yeah,
The
sure.
clash of the assholes.
I mean,
right
yeah,
there.
I could be an asshole from time to time, but not as of late. So we're talking about big money, And when I'm talking about money, we're always talking about insurance and retirement and making sure that you have enough money in retirement. Michael Fusco can help you do that and make sure of it and assure you that everything's going to be okay. You can head on over to the Fusco Insurance Agency. You can call him at 718-701-5787 to schedule your complimentary consultation. That's free, folks. That's free to you and me. Go over there, talk to him about your situation. He'll help you at 718-701-5787. Just make sure you know that guarantees and protections are not subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing company, and some insurance policies are not available in all states. And of course, he also offers awesome financing now. If you have a small business and you want to finance some shit, we probably should have did that when looking around and all the equipment. We should have financed a little bit, but we didn't. We paid it with all cash money, hard-earned cash. But if you have to finance and you're a 540 FICO score or above, head on over to prestigetaxfinancing.com/business financing. And now Gooch has something for your taint.
Yes. So your taint, my taint, everybody's taint. Head on over to manscaped.com. Use the promo code SHOPSPORTS. You get 20% off your entire order, free shipping anywhere in the world. Let me tell you guys, the porcelain blade, it reduces the risk of nicks and cuts. And when I say reduces, it means like I use it every third day and I haven't nicked my ball sack. Not a once. So it's a clean shave. You bust out the crop shaver 2.0. You got the lawnmower 4.0, you got the weed whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, and you have all the exfoliators, the creams, and the rubs. And every single time you order one of their packages, they throw in some free gifts. You either get the tote bag, you get the t-shirt that I had on but took off, and then you also get the boxer shorts that Dave doesn't really like, but I fucking love them.
I don't think I don't have. Never mind. I don't have an ass. Like, it just slides down. I've always been like flat. Like I don't squat.
He's like, I don't have
as much as everybody.
Never mind. I don't have an ass. Like, all right.
It is what it is.
I haven't noticed.
Everybody has a taint, though, according to sources.
We all got a taint.
Casey
we all got a taint.
Oh, God. All right. Anyway, it's now time to continue our NFL around the league coverage. We've done the East. We've done the West. We haven't. We've done the East.
The North and the South.
And the East. So we're finally on the AFC.
You like how
West.
I did that, right? North, South, East, West. Like
yeah, well, we have to alter it because somebody's going to Lavalette. So we have to alter the goddamn order.
I'm going to be boogie boarding all week, bro.
Yeah, boogie boarding, so I can't talk about the Vikings and the Bears.
I won't even set a fucking toenail in the ocean. You think I'm going to boogie board? Because they have a pool with waves? Then maybe. But
Jesus, what the? Wait, so what are you going to Lavalette for? The beach?
The nightlife, bro. You ever been to Lavalette at night?
I mean,
no, I'm kidding. It's got nothing there. It's but Seaside's right there. Point Pleasant's right there.
That's
so
perfect.
You enjoy the weekend. You go do some stuff, and I will get my ass on a jet ski. I promise you that. But I just don't swim.
Really. So, like, God forbid something happens when you're on a jet ski and you get propelled over and you fall in the ocean. Are you okay?
No. What I do. Yes, I almost got attacked by a killer swan on a jet ski.
Oh, a killer swan!
What I do? Yeah,
now
bro.
There's multiple different kinds of swans.
The swans are aggressive and big. All right.
It wasn't trying to kill you. It was simply swimming, and I wanted to go near it. So I was like, oh my god.
Oh, the swan. Let's go check out the nice part. Yeah. Let's pet the swan. It just comes at you. Love it. Anyway,
so what I do if I fall off the jet ski, I swim as deep as I can and I take a deep breath and I die right there because I do not want to be stuck in the middle of the ocean. The fear will get to me. So I'm good. I'm good.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so the 2022 Denver Broncos, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of optimism surrounded in Denver. It might just be the high altitude. I don't know. Actually, the old MIL went over to Denver for a wedding, and she said she got very sick because of the difference in whatever.
I've been on a vacation.
I've never been out there.
It was a tough go of it for me.
Well, you've been to Denver?
Yeah, Colorado. It was like the mountains were the highest paved road in America. We went to like go there, and I was like, I'm staying right in the car. I am not walking around out here. Every step I had to take a knee.
Damn,
my balls are really shrinking by the split second.
Yeah, you are really like.
I'm afraid of the ocean. I don't like altitude, and
this is why
happy national girlfriend.
If he's not here, if he's not here, he's home, and if he's not home, he's here. He goes nowhere else. He hasn't seen the light of day. Anyway, Denver Broncos. A lot of optimism in the air because of, one guy. Let's ride, Bronco country. Let's go. Russell Wilson in the house. He is one of the key additions to the Denver Broncos, as we all know already. But as I've done with every other team, some key losses to talk about. Teddy Bridgewater leaves town, goes to Miami. Kyle Fuller, their cornerback, leaves. Bryce Callahan, another corner, leaves. They lost 4 cornerbacks in the offseason. So I know they replaced them in the draft, and they also signed They signed somebody. I had here
Did
written
they
down.
trade Chris
Kawhi
Harris?
Williams.
Chris Harris is with San Diego now.
Yeah, so he's
Or
gone
LA?
too. But yeah, some key losses there. Drew Lock, legend, gone. But anyway, their key gains is where it starts, and that's with Russell Wilson. They also acquired and signed Randy Gregory after we thought, when I say we, it's Dallas. I thought that, we had Randy Gregory in the bag, and sure as shit, he goes to Denver. So there's a lot of cool things. They drafted, you can't look at their draft and put a grade on it because they lost half their capital in the trade. So they took a lot to get Russ over here. But they do draft Nick Benito out of Oklahoma. I guess that's cool. But again, not the biggest draft. You look at this team up and down, their offense is kind of loaded. It's kind of fast. It's Russell Wilson, who again might be the most cringeworthy player in the NFL. We get that, but he's still a decent quarterback. Even last year when he got banged up, he still was winning some games here and there. Chris's favorite running back in the NFL, the guy I'm going to take with the 6th overall pick in the Dynasty League, Javonte Williams, is running the ball over there. Melvin Gordon comes back on a 1-year deal. The receivers, very underrated. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick, me and you both have a little bit of a crush on him in fantasy sports because the guy is one of those guys you can always pick up.
Highly efficient player.
Highly efficient. So that's a great one. Their tight end, they lose Noah Fant in that trade, and I'm not even going to try. Go ahead. Albert
Agugbanam.
Agugbanam.
it.
Did you?
Got it.
Like
Agugbanam.
You're not even speaking English.
Agugbanam. Yeah, I am. Well, I'm not. I'm speaking Nigerian.
Is he Nigerian?
I would imagine.
Okay. Anyway, so that's
Sounds
their
like,
tight
yeah,
end. Their
the OG.
defense. Their defense. I love their defense over there. Obviously, the addition of Randy Gregory. Chubb is there. He's already went on record saying this defense is even better now than it was before. Darby and Surtain. One more time. I wanted Patrick Surtain Jr. so bad in draft, but we wound up with a guy with Michael Parsons. I think we made it out all right over there. And of course, their safeties are loaded, man. Jackson and Simmons are just incredible talent. When you look at the Broncos, are you feeling the optimism that they're feeling as well in Vegas as well? Because last year, 7-10, okay, they had a bad year, and now they're getting 10.5 from Vegas.
I'm back and forth on Denver, and it's really not that I'm back and forth on Denver. I just think that there's got to be wolf tickets out of one of these teams in the West, and they only won 7 games last year. And outside of the Russell Wilson, the roster is largely the same. They did play well in certain games. They beat up on Dallas.
Oh, they kicked the shit out of Dallas.
And that was a game where you're like, wow, if this Broncos team could play this way,
they had the blueprint
running the football. Well, they did.
I mean,
Javonte Williams was
we hung 41 on the
just
Falcons the next week. So
impossible to tackle. Yeah, because the Falcons didn't have the personnel to execute the blueprint.
That's math.
I mean,
Go ahead.
truthfully. But I like their roster makeup. They don't really have any holes. The quarterback was the position that you had to address. They addressed it, and outside of the additions that they made, they didn't really need to make any other additions other than Russ. So the draft picks, their roster is set. I like their roster a lot. I obviously like their head coach a lot, but it's his first year. So that's where there's trepidation comes in for me. You see coordinators do well, and then they come into a place and they don't. That with the fact that we are all talking about the AFC West, they only won 7 games last year in this division. All the other teams got better as well. Right?
So
the Chargers got better.
That's crazy to me
The
because
Chiefs are the only ones that you would say didn't get better, but they're the Chiefs.
you know what's crazy? Like 10.5. And that was the last place team. I'm very curious to know where they got the rest of the teams in the AFC. We'll cover the rest this week.
I would say
But
that the Raiders are probably
The least with 9.5 or something.
No.
10.
I would
So
say
that's what I'm
probably-
saying. Is it? Don't. I guess you could pull it up if you wanted to. But
look,
yeah, look at win totals for the AFC West because I'm curious to know, like, if this is the worst
That's
team
true.
in the division, that means everybody's 10 and above.
Well,
you talk about
that
a
means
loaded division.
in terms of like where you're going to gamble. That has zero bearing on where they're going to finish. Like the
No, I
Raiders,
understand
the
that, but I mean, like
Raiders-
if Vegas
the Raiders-
finds them this way, that's pretty nuts.
I hate to say this because, my buddy Joe, shout out to Joe, will also be doing
Tonight.
we'll talk about that in a second. I don't want to cut into what I'm about to say.
Okay.
The Raiders have holes in their secondary that I think is like the biggest outside of what I got going on with the Chiefs defense. I think that's awful. I think they're going to play bad this year.
Chiefs defense.
Truly. Yeah. I think they're going to be
I
scored
just
on a
find it
lot.
hard pressed for any Andy Reid related anybody plays bad.
Remember
Except
the
for when
Chiefs before they got Melvin Ingram last year? It was the worst defense in football.
Yeah, but they're still winning
Ready?
games. Yeah, go
They
ahead.
weren't. They
Want
were.
them
They were
all?
like 2-4.
Yeah, started the bottom.
So okay, so
The
we
Chiefs
know.
were bad.
Well,
Early
no,
last year.
they're not. Well, so the bottom is the Raiders are 8.5.
8.5 for the
This is
Raiders. We'll talk
CBS,
about them
this is
tomorrow.
7 hours ago.
Okay.
Then you got. They have the Broncos at 10,
Mm-hmm.
the Chiefs at 10.5,
Mm-hmm.
and
The Chargers at 11.
Chargers at 11.
Chargers.
100% 11
Yeah.
plus.
Where are
That's just crazy.
They have the Chargers at 10.
Okay, so all right, they have a 3-team tie.
Yeah.
Is what they have right now. That's insane to
And
me.
the Raiders 8.5.
And obviously, we'll cover the rest of the way of the AFC West as we go.
The Raiders, new coach, no secondary.
Whole lot of shit going on.
So it's interesting.
So here's the schedule. Okay, not very. I mean, there's pockets of like, all right, let's roll off some wins, but then there's pockets of pretty tough. The revenge game starts the season. Russ goes back to Seattle. I think Russ I think he shows out. And they win that game. Then they go home for their home opener against the Texans. I think they win that game. So all of a sudden, your Broncos, let's ride 2-0, right? So that's great. Then comes the hard part. Weeks 3 through 6. Check out this rundown here. San Francisco, at Vegas, obviously interdivision game, home against Indianapolis, and then at LA Chargers. So right there, you would pray for a split out of the next 4 games, right? So that would give you at least 4 wins heading into the Jets game, which I think is a win.
Is that home or away, the Jet game?
That's in Denver.
So they don't really go anywhere for first like 7 games.
I mean, they're going to Vegas, which means it's right next door. LA. Wow, you have a good point. There's no travel.
Nah.
The first travel is to London.
Yeah. That's a very interesting point, Rob. Because then after the Jets, they got the Jaguars, and then they go their bye on week 9.
Middle of the road schedule. It's not that hard.
No, it's not.
Considering how everybody's gloating how great the AFC West is, they're 15th. I mean, they're also the last place team in that division.
Right. So they got the last place schedule, which means they're going to be playing Carolina at Carolina, then week 13 at Baltimore. Like the division games are like spread out throughout the end of this schedule. And if Kyler Murray is going to deliver, like you say he will in 2022, weeks 15 through 18, ready for this? It's home against the Cardinals, at LA. That's the Rams, by the way. At Kansas City, and then home against the Chargers. That's tough. Ooh. It's almost as if these guys want to make a wild card push at this point, it's going to be tough sledding to do in the back 4. They got to get off to a rocket hot start to be even in the conversation.
10 and 7.
So I said, just based off the wins that I'm like, win, like the layups to me, I had them at the floor. I'm talking the worst they could do is what they did in 2021. The worst they can do, 7 wins, right? But if you take the rest of the games that I'm kind of iffy on, even if they split the rest of the games, you're looking at a 10-win season. So now it really depends on where you want to go with what some of these games, because they're going to have to steal a couple on the road to meet that 11 number, I think.
I think that 11 number is a little ambitious.
I think so too.
Because there's a lot of good teams that we just don't know enough about. The Colts are good. We don't know about the Titans yet. They play them. The Ravens, like they're it's not as easy as you would think, considering where some of these teams finished last year. The Ravens, you expect they're going to be much improved. They got the Ravens, right? The Titans, I don't know how that's even on the schedule. Is that their extra game?
Where do you see at Tennessee in week 10? That's off their bye too, so they got to go on the road for that one. But yeah, I mean, look, there's pockets of terror, really. I mean, like you got to make sure that you get off to the 2-0 start, like I said. You go at Seattle first game and then come home, beat up on the Texans, right? So people are going to be feeling good. But then it's really like, what is San Francisco going to present to you when they come to your house and it's Trey Lance and company, right? We don't know. Deebo now with the fresh money. And then that first trip to Vegas, even if you split the division games, which is technically your goal, really.
I wonder how they were against the run last year. I wish maybe Kyle could drop in the comments because I can't even see the comments. But I think that's going to be
AJ coming in saying he's really not sold on Denver.
I'm not sold on Denver because I'm not completely sold on Russ's bounce back, and I think that he's a dork. So
yes, dork.
But I also really like their roster. I like Javonte Williams. If they're committed to running the football the way I think they're going to be, then it's going to make things a lot easier on Russ and Russell Wilson when he's been
literally middle of the pack against the run.
Yeah. So when I would like to see them improve if they're going to be better this year because there's going to be some dogs.
And I think they got some
lose Von Miller too, though. So
Von Miller,
they lost Von Miller. Yeah. So if
he was a Ram last year,
was he?
Yeah,
the whole year.
Maybe midway through.
He got traded.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you could definitely factor that in. But I think that Chubb and Gregory are going to be really good. This is a 3-4 defense, so they have a lot of guys standing up. When I watched Gregory stand up last year, it wasn't very appealing to me. So I don't know how he's going to fit. We'll find out. But because even when they made Marcus Lawrence stand up, I was like, what is he doing? I don't like it at all.
Did they announce it? I mean, like a lot of these defenses are hybrid now anyway. With a new head coach, they might have a new coordinator and it might be a new system. So we don't know yet. We'll see how this plays out a lot to be interested in if you're a Denver Broncos fan. I'm excited to see a lot of these games because Denver, if you watched the show last year, you know I was high on Denver. I talk good about them often, and I don't have what they were against the spread last year, but I would also wish I knew that too because I feel like they were in some tight games and they lost them because of poor quarterback play. We'll see if Russ could stay healthy, and 4 wins is a big jump though. You know, to win 11 after 7.
Broncos record against the spread in 2021 was 8-8. So you're right. Tight games win some. They won half of them. So yes, tight games for sure. So I mean, look, the Broncos, they got themselves a hell of a division to deal with. That's the main thing. That's the main question you have to ask yourself. Who's going to come out of this juggernaut of a division? You think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to kind of struggle on defense? I look at the Chargers as the darlings. Like that's everybody's kind of riding the Chargers right now. The Raiders are a mystery because, I mean, yeah, they added Devontae Adams. We'll get into that tomorrow. But it's like you look at a team like the Raiders and you're like, well, you know, they could probably blow some teams out and then they could probably get blown out.
But
you know what I mean? Like it's
the only thing that I'm looking at with the Raiders that's a glaring hole is their secondary. But their pass rush, they got Chandler Jones, they got Max. We'll talk about the Raiders tomorrow. Yeah. Or actually not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Chargers are tomorrow.
Chargers finished 3rd? Oh, okay.
Raiders were a playoff team. Chargers
are you missing the Chargers? Poor thing. You're not here tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll be okay.
Okay. So anyway, that's the Broncos. Tonight, ladies and gents, you got some news on Breaking Buds.
Yeah,
right?
So tonight at 9:00, first of all, I want to thank everybody that participated. If you were in Chop Sports, you saw the post. I don't know how many of you guys joined the auction, but the auction sold out. Very first auction with very limited promotion. The auction sold out. So, you know, in the green there, that's very good. But there's going to be some giveaways tonight at 9:00. You could tune in. We're going to go live on Chop Sports Media's YouTube page, and it's going to be the Sports Card Collective, and it's going to be a live break. We're going to give away a autographed mini helmet, and then there's going to be a bunch of other giveaways with some packs and some cool stuff that we got at the National Card Show yesterday, and I'll talk about a lot of that stuff too because the National Card Show was pretty cool.
I got a gift. I walked in here and got myself a brand new 1989 Troy Aikman rookie card, courtesy of Gooch.
Yeah, buddy.
So
it's only worth 30 cents because he's not good, but it wasn't good.
Well, then I don't want the goddamn thing.
No,
you can have it back.
It's the legitimate.
It is the legitimate
score rookie.
Yeah,
it's not great.
I have the Emmett score rookie. I got a couple of gems in my. I still want to go over to Santiago Sports because maybe he'll pay me some decent change for my cards because I have a lot.
I found out yesterday that the era that we were kids was by far the worst era to collect cards in.
But why?
Just because of the oversaturation and there wasn't autographs. Once they started doing the autographs and they started doing limited numbers, but there's like
I got a couple limited numbers.
There's like a few cards from that era that are good, but typically like the Tom Brady rookie, you would expect the Tom Brady, like the one rookie should be his best card. It's not. There's probably an autograph, one of one somewhere that's better. That's just the way it goes now. It's a way different market, but I'm excited to venture into it a little bit. I had fun yesterday.
I'm excited because I mean, there's again, as corny as it sounds, me and my brother, we found that whole like box, and I was like excited to find cards that made no sense whatsoever. Like, oh, I forgot this guy even played on this team. You're like, holy shit!
The best thing to do is look through old commons, and you get, bro. We could sit in this room with a box of cards from the '90s and just be like, do you remember this guy? We all don't, but then when you hear the name, you do. That's the most fun that middle-aged men could have.
That's it. There's no other better.
Honestly, do you want to do that tomorrow night, Ash? You want to just sit down and go through some old commons? Be like, do you remember Junior Spivey? No?
And AJ comes with Junior Spivey fucks. Anyway.
Carlos El Caballo.
Dude, I found so much.
Best
it's like ridiculous,
ever.
Dude. There's so many cards. Oh my God. Anyway, we want to thank everybody for joining today. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning of the show because honestly, I did nothing. I moved this and it was like
I know.
activated.
I'm going to explain what happened after that. There's a gate. When you lower it and you raise it higher, you have to raise it past that point again, or you have to hit unmute.
Tricks of the trade, courtesy of Chris Gucci. So thank you guys for that. Former NFL Roberto Kelly, former NFL player Buster Rhymes.
Roberto Kelly
played for the
Yankee. Yeah. He was traded for Paul O'Neill.
Was he really?
Yeah. To the Reds.
Reds making moves back in 1993 and just now.
I watched Roberto Kelly rob a home run and hit a home run on Chiquita Banana Watch Day. Back at the stadium in the mid 80s or late 80s, probably early 90s for all I know. But it was one of the first Yankee Stadium memories I can remember.
Do you know what cards I have actually? Do you remember? Did you ever play the game Showdown? There was like a showdown like card game for the NFL. It was like 2002. Those cards actually have some value. If like you have like a refractor or whatever, they're like 10, 12 bucks each. And I'm like, I spent $6 a pack just trying to get these things. So I'm gonna make my money back. God damn it. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's
Patreon members, be on the lookout for the link because you were entered into a contest to win an autograph today.
Awesome.
So Patreon members, I hope everybody joins us because obviously it's the first time I wouldn't say I'm nervous, but there is some trepidation going into it because there's a lot of moving parts when you're doing a live break and just want to make sure we do it all right. So having some familiar faces will be nice to join us, and I'm looking forward to it later.
Yeah, so there's your way to enter right away. Become a Patreon member. We were just talking about it before, patreon.com/Chop Sports. Get on that $3 level, ladies and gents, and you can be entered into a card break, and you can potentially get a card that's worth $3. So therefore it'll be free.
No. You could probably get a card that's whoever enters this contest is going to get an autograph. Like if you're a Patreon member and there's someone's going to win an autograph from Patreon today.
Come on, baby.
For a fact.
All right. Well, that's awesome. And that's courtesy of, what is he calling it? Breaking Buds?
The Break Buds is the name of the
Is that a marijuana play?
It's definitely a play on weed and sports cards.
You sons of bitches.
100%.
I knew it. You're not
bro?
that creative. I saw Breaking Buds. I'm like, he's
Break
talking
Buds.
about
Like we're buddies.
He's
and
talking about weed.
We probably will smoke before we do it.
Wow. Okay. Great show. Can't wait till that one goes off the rails tonight. But tune in tonight at 9 o'clock at Chop Sports Media's YouTube channel. Again, thank you guys for watching today. That's the Broncos. Tomorrow, Rob, are you in?
Yeah.
All right. So it's me and Wrestling Rob getting down to talk
Break
about
down
the
the
LA Chargers of 2022, which is, again, one of the darlings of the league. Are they going to be the Super Bowl pick? We'll make all those picks as the season gets
You're going to have
closer.
to win a game in the cold for me to believe
Bailey's
in them.
coming and asking a question. So Patreon will email us.
Yeah, well, I might just rip the emails from Patreon and send out a mass one. So I got to see what the most efficient way for me to do it is, but I will be emailing a link out to the live show. Also, you could just tune in at 9 on our YouTube because
to clarify, what's like, all right, so Bailey's in, right? He's a Cowboys fan. I got the Cowboys.
Well,
what is he getting?
So the people that are VIP already got a team, right? And then there's half.
And then there's Bailey,
but half of them are already Patreon members too. So like they're eliminated from getting 2 teams. And then what we're gonna do is just there's random.org. We're gonna randomize the rest, or we'll figure out a way that it's done fair. And you're just gonna get a team. Look, you're not paying for it. You're paying for the Patreon, right? And there's gonna be another one.
When you get yourself a brand new shiny Justin Fields autograph, you'll know it's worth nothing. There you go. So you could
Justin
possibly
Fields
get the Bears.
Actually, a nice hit if you hit a Justin Fields.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, I get it, but I'm
because
just saying, I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be tuned in.
So there's a Bears fan somewhere that is collecting all Justin Fields shit now on the off chance that he blows up. Then it would be a big hit.
Bailey's at $5. Well, congratulations, Bailey. Up it to 10. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you, bro. So later on, 9 o'clock, tune in to this channel right here. And if you're watching this video, please like this video right now. Helps us significantly. If you like the video, it tells us that you like the video, and we'll put you in the little Breaking Buds thing too. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't. None of this actually. Break Buds. Break Buds. Okay, I'll get it. You gonna get merch made?
Yes.
Duh. Oh, now you can finally use your thing. Remember, didn't you have like a cool logo with the buds and like, oh, we can't sell that?
Oh, the chopping broccoli?
Yeah. Use that logo and make it Breaking Buds. Break Buds.
It might be a little it might be a little extreme. Maybe we'll do a sect where we actually break buds.
Oh God.
Get like strains and break them.
Oh Jesus.
Ooh, that's it.
I don't even know what that means.
Golden idea.
I mean,
no crossing state lines though.
Oh, yes. Okay. No crossing state lines. Anyway, all right. So for Sturch, Gooch, Wrestling Rob, and of course, I guess, happy girlfriend day, Ash.
National. Hey, we hit the natty, baby.
Oh, yeah. That's great. I remember when I used to be natty. It's been a show. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys tomorrow with the Chargers.